Hello and welcome back to Heroes Celebrity Clash League, the league with all of your favorite celebrities in the Heroes of the Storm community. My name is Not Paradox, and I will be casting this lovely event here with me, the man known for casting for 4 days straight, the only human whose voice can sing in 3 different notes at the same time, the one and only Baha. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It looks like you tripped yourself up on the wonderful facts you learned of myself. Yeah, because
I need more research.
Anyone that's wondering, these aren't just facts that he makes up. Before we go live, he goes, "Tell me a fact about yourself," and I'm like, "I can sing in 3 octaves at once." And he's just like, "Really?" And then I did it, and he's like, "Cool, but don't do that on stream because I don't want to be embarrassed." So I get it. It happens. But either way, we are here and we're getting ready for another best of 3 series, Paradox. And I gotta say that first one was an absolute blast, but I'm ready for a second already.
Oh, yeah. I've been excited for this series since I heard that this is going to be the 2 teams playing last week. And I've been excited for this. I talked about it before. But let's talk a little bit about the format. Round robin. Baha, why do we do round robin?
So that way every team can play against each other. Week 1 is going to be 2 best of 3s. Week 2 will be the same thing. And week 3 will be, well, same thing exactly. But that means at the end of 3 weeks, we have everyone playing each other. We can actually see week 1, 2 already happened. We're in week 3 right now. We already saw the KTLs versus Easy Money. Upstanding Citizens versus Down to Dongle is next. But the reason we do this round robin is so that way when we get to the finals next week, February 12th, we will have 1 best of 5 series to close things out. We know that the KTLs are going there, but who from match number 2 between the Upstanding Citizens and Down to Dongle will be actually going up against those KTLs? Paradox, that's the big question that everyone's trying to figure out this evening.
That is, so the teams that are left in this event, the KTLs, which we've talked about, Leon Black, Liam, Lakefu, Kagiri, Tatsuki, they are guaranteed a spot in the finals. And now we just need to decide or learn out of the Upstanding Citizens, which has Mewnfare, Turk, AlexDidz, Aullora, Coffee, versus Down to Dongle, which has Kaiberries, Trixler, Selenityy, Vipey, and Casanova. That's going to decide who are in the finals next week to see that best of 5. And that is really what we're going to be seeing. But what are they playing for, Baha?
Lots of soap. 4 bags of soap. 1 person doesn't get a bag of soap. No, they're going to be playing for a gigantic prize pool. First place is going to be taking $500 plus 35% of the community prize pool. Second place for $300, but still 35%. Third and 4th place will be taking $200 and 15%. Now, that 15%, if you're trying to figure out, well, what's the community prize pool? That little number, that little tracker that you've been seeing pop up here and there in the matches as well as during, well, our little cast, and it's actually below me right now, that money goes back towards the players. So if you may have seen one player last week DCing because their router may be a little too old, that might be the money they need to get themselves a new fancy router so that way they don't DC during these games and they could potentially be taking first places instead of maybe seconds. But either way, it's tons of good money on the line. The community is backing all these players, and thank you all so much. We've already reached 63% of our bits for the goal this evening and 25% of our dollar actual goal as well. So thank you for supporting, and we've already raised from week 1 and 2. I have the note over here. We raised $1,598.28. That is so much money from the community to go back literally into the community, and this also gives the opportunity for Heroes Hearth to be able to run future events and, well, increase our own production as well. So thank you for supporting. Thank you for being here. But prize pools aside, all that aside, we got to figure out who's going to be going to the grand finals, Paradox. And I don't know about you, but I'm itching to get into this game.
I'm ready. I think it's time to get into game number 1, series number 2, and we are looking at Battlefield of Eternity, which is one of my favorite maps. You'll hear me say that on most maps, but this is definitely one of my favorite maps. So so as we're getting in here, though, did I mention a big ass bar of soap? I did not mention a big ass bar of soap. Guys, if you have not heard of Duke Cannon, they are helping us out by making sure that we can, I mean, they're really half the reason that we got into this whole event was because of a crazy idea that Ian had. He mentioned it to Duke Cannon. Duke Cannon's like, let's do this. And now Duke Cannon is sponsoring us, and you guys can check out some big ass bar of soap, these awesome hygiene, different tools that they have. They've got a whole lot of different things that you can do. Awesome scents and flavors that you can see for all of their different products, and you guys can save 15% by typing in HHE15 into their checkout, and you'll save 15% on that. But with that in mind, guys, let's get into this game. Remember, on the left side, we've got Upstanding Citizens. They did just ban Ariel. On the right side, we've got Down to Dongle, which just banned Ana. Pretty good start to a Battlefield of Eternity game. Don't forget that we also have some of the racing heroes that are known for doing a lot of single target damage to these immortals. Lunara is... We just talked about this earlier today. That was one of Aullora's picks that she did. She picked Lunara, I believe, on this map, actually, and did very, very well with it. So it's a little bit of a target ban going on between the teams. It seems like Down and Dongle's done their research.
I can see draft chat, and it's just they banned out the Lunara, and it was boo, and then it was just boo. It was just increased. But I do want to point out here that the members of Down to Dongle banned out the Ana. Last week, we actually had Moon carrying on said Ana and shot calling from that. So now we'll see what they're going to be having to play on and what they're going to be. I mean, do we actually get the Lily that they were jokingly like tilting each other about, or is it just? I mean, no, actually, I think it was Trixler who I think was the one saying that they're going to pick up Lily. Now I'm confusing myself. I actually can't remember which one was going to troll the other with Lily, but I think it was Down to Dongle trolling with it. Either way, they immediately grabbed Selenity's Li Ming, very very strong in previous weeks, but that's a quick Deathwing to come out from up.
Very quick Deathwing.
Yeah,
it's an interesting map for Deathwing. I mean, a lot of the CCs that the Immortals do, you can completely ignore, but you're also so big that you're likely just going to take damage from it anyways. So it's a decent pick, and it will force the enemies to react to it. I mean, he's got a lot of health, he's got a lot of armor. You normally need % health. There's Aullora's Ragnaros, but this makes me a little concerned again. Wasn't this one of the challenges that they've faced in the past? Actually, this wasn't even them that did this. It was Down and Dongle that did this. They picked a solo laner and they picked Deathwing, forced Deathwing to solo tank, and then they struggled with it. Do you think Upstanding Citizens has a different strategy for this, or they're going to adjust it in any way and run Deathwing and Ragnaros? I don't know.
They got to figure out something here, because actually I glanced over at chat. Beckman coming in with the stats over here. Deathwing has a 0% win rate within the CCL.
He does.
Like 0. Not like, oh, let's factor out these maps. It's 0. He's been played, I think, 5 or 6 times, lost every single one of them. So right now, they're picking, like, in a clutch matchup, they're first picking a hero that has had the worst results thus far in the CCL.
Yes.
And that's a nerve-wracking spot to be in. But hey, you never know. I mean, this might be, they might have practiced with this. They might have figured something out that we're not aware of. But that's an ETC ban, not something I was expecting. Something like a Greymane or a Malthael was something that they might lean into a little bit more. Maybe they're trying to grab the Greymane on the side of Upstanding Citizens, but a Curse Bullet into Deathwing, that's a rough go. That's 40% of the current health pool. That's a lot.
And I know Coffee does play a bit of Greymane, so I think, but I would actually like to see Coffee play Alarak here. That's just me. Looks like Alex is picking up Mal'Ganis quickly, so they will be having a 4-man Deathwing or Ragnaros or Deathwing in the 4-man. And yeah, you are correct. That is Deathwing is 0 and 3 right now in CCL. But let's see. I mean, we still have Alarak available. We still have possibility of different healers. I don't know what Mew's going to end up going with. I think I like Malfurion. There's the Alarak.
Good call.
So I love Alarak on this map because you can push people into the stuns that the Immortal is already putting out. But not just that, he just works really well with a variety of heroes. And his auto attacks are actually really high damage. So while he's not the best race hero out there, he could put up his own numbers right there when it comes to racing. So I like that.
I was about to say, you have to Joanna this 1000%.
Yes.
You've already got Cassia. The enemy team picked up a Deathwing. So range melee-ish. And, well, you can't blind a Deathwing anymore, I don't believe. Ragnaros, blindable, melee. Mal'Ganis, blindable, melee. Alarak, Mal'Ganis. They're literally all blindable currently, and so grabbing the Joanna is just more blinds on top of that with the Cassie as well. I was actually thinking, I was like, maybe they're a Tannis here? But no, they're going to grab that Thrall for the solo lane, and then the opposing side will be grabbing a Stukov here. This is so much melee into so much blinds, and I'm not saying like just because they have the blinds they win, but that's going to be a rough go. And also the thing is too, every single time they're looking to try and engage, they're going to be stepping up. That means that as long as they're communicating to Selenityy, she's going to be able to throw out combos as they're stepping up. Anduin's going to get chastised because it's a skill shot that runs in, well, it's a very slow skill shot, but you run away, throw it behind you, they're still stepping up, chastise them, Selenityy gets a combo. Joanna has the Blessed Shield at 10 probably. Cassia's got the Fend to dive in, maybe capitalizing on an Anduin getting a chest Chastise, and then you've also got Thrall with Roots on top of that too. So another thing that can lock someone down in a chase or as they're stepping up. So there's so many tools to kind of say, nope, we don't want that fight on the side of Down to Dongle. And Upstanding Citizens, I think they're just going to try and push face consistently here, and I don't know if it will work. I really don't know, Paradox.
It's a very tricky one. I mean, Upstanding Citizens, their comp is, like you said, it's so hard to engage, and they did get kind of pushed out of what they wanted to do. Aullora plays a mean Ragnaros and a mean Lunara, and Lunara got banned, and they already got forced into a position where they already had a solo laner. So it's certainly going to be interesting to see how it plays out, but I do like as far as that team comp goes. So speaking of Upstanding Citizens, they're on the left side. They are blue team today. We have Coffee playing Alarak. We've got Mewn on that Stukov. We've got AlexDidz playing Mal'Ganis. We've got Aullora on Ragnaros, and we've got the Turk on Deathwing.
On the right-hand side, we got the members of Down to Dongle. Trickster's going to be on the Thrall. We've got the 4 members in bottom lane. Kaiberry is going to be on the Anduin. Vipey to be on the Cassia. Selenityy on the Li Ming. And Casanova rounds out the team on the Joanna. Let's go ahead and get into bottom lane.
Yeah,
Sorry, I saw your message. I was seeing the message. I was like, "Are we not?"
I didn't know if they were. I didn't know if they were just trolling each other or if they actually wanted to remake. Because this time they actually could remake it. Last time it was after a kill and they couldn't remake. So I just was like, "Is that what?" I didn't know if I was being trolled, and I think I'm being trolled. So no worries. I will get trolled.
As a caster, okay. You can't actually talk to anybody because you're set to spectator mode.
I was asking production.
Oh, we're good. Okay, we're good. Either way,
we're all good.
We're going to get into rotations between lanes. We currently have Thrall matching into the Ragnaros in top lane, and then the core 4 in this bottom lane will be brawling out before our objective phase does start. And now, Paradox, what is kind of the game plan around Battlefield of Eternity when it comes to the objective phase?
So Battlefield of Eternity is known around the competitive scene as kind of the team fight. It's a map that has very little macro, and as far as decisions go, the decisions come down to trade, fight, defend. Ooh, great engage by the Deathwing and the Mal'Ganis. I just wanted to interrupt myself there with that. That was, and the Deathwing still gets taken out, and that gave a reset to Selenityy, almost got another kill out of Mewn, and everyone else is getting very, very low here. I mean, 1 or 2 hits here could be another kill, and it looks like it's really close. That is a couple people getting slowed, but that isn't it. So on Battlefield of Eternity, there are 3 major decisions to make, and outside of that, it really comes down to which team can do better fights and which team can race. Ooh, Coffee with a quick combo and a spray just to add dirt to the wound. But yeah, and that's essentially the map. Is it comes down to those 3 things. Now, the objective on this map are 2 giant immortals that will be fighting the endless battle. You will be helping your immortal by doing damage to the enemy immortal. If you can then kill the enemy immortal, your immortal will join your team and push in the weakest lane, the least damaged lane. We do have a bit of a fight going on down at bottom lane, though.
Yeah, Mal'Ganis taking a lot of damage. They're going to get picked off. Casanova going to be going down as well. 1-for-1 trade thus far as Deathwing steps onto the point. A lot of damage out of Trickster, but they still end up grabbing that huge telekinesis from Coffee, and they are scaling this Alarak so very quickly. 115% on that sadism. Also to note, Ragnaros has already stacked up 16 out of the 30 on Sulfurous Hungers at level 1, and we have 10 out of the 20 stacks on the Echo the Elements for the Thrall. Everyone working through some of these questing talents or even just baseline abilities. Deathwing, I'm looking to see. They didn't go into the Dragon's Ire at level 4, so there's no reason for them to play around that low armor plating. They're going to fly up into the sky and get ready for the Immortal phase, but it looks like we're going to be having camps push into lanes. Aullora very far up in this top lane. Casanova trying to punish that right there. I don't know if they have a blast wave to get themselves out. Uses this Sulfurous Smash to be able to get, the Empower Sulfurous to get some healing off of that auto. Really quick thinking out from them, but now we get into our Immortal phase, and this will be Bruiser Camp picked up by the members of Upstanding Citizens, as they haven't grabbed their Bruiser Camp on the side of Down to Dongle just yet, but this is looking like they're going for the defense on the side of Upstanding Citizens, Paradox.
It really is, and this is, again, you have to make, there's very few decisions to make on this, and this is where the teams really can show their decision making over the enemy teams. Is how are you going to handle the race? How are you going to handle the team fights, the defense? And it looks like both teams are really unsure about how they want to approach this. We have both teams kind of doing a little bit of damage, but at the same time, both looking to defend if they can. We have the Turk just going in and pushing right now, body blocking with one of the largest bodies in the game, and did quite a bit of damage, but wasn't able to pick up any kills there. About half of both of the turrets health down in the bottom from that objective, and now it looks like we have the Upstanding Citizens doing just a quick bout of racing. We do have a leave. We will be doing a pause, and during that, though, as we're waiting for Aullora to get back, what do you think either of these teams needs to do? I mean, at the moment, we've got Upstanding Citizens that's a little bit ahead as far as kills go, but their Immortals actually a little lower, and I think the challenge is that they didn't actually draft a lot of race heroes. What do you think that they need to do to help with their race problem, and what do you think that the other team needs to do to address this fact that they're losing in team fights?
The one thing that I used to hear from one of my friends in the past was like, we would go to Battlefield of Eternity and it'd be like, all right, we need to have some things for race potential. And then when we wouldn't get any, I'd look at my friends and I'd be like, well, we don't have anything to race with. How are we going to win this game? And the response always was, we don't need to win the race if we win every single team fight. And that's sort of the case here a little bit. Like, they don't technically need to win through the race consistently throughout this game. If they take every team fight around the Immortal phase and then body during that, Upstanding Citizens will be able to then take their time and work through the Immortal phase. Now, it is 6-6 in levels with a slight lead for Upstanding Citizens, and it's 5-2 in kills. Not a ton of experience coming in from that one. It's actually roughly 1,000 extra experience from heroic kills. That's what's giving you that buff right there. But if they're able to keep getting kills and capitalize and build their momentum on the side of Upstanding Citizens, the race potential really won't be a factor for them because they're just constantly winning these battles, forcing the enemy team out. They take their time, they win it, they burn down that, and then they can push in with the Immortals. So it's like, I think it's going to come down to literally answer your question, it's going to come down to the team fight rather than the Immortal phase in this matchup, at least for Upstanding Citizens. Down to Dongle, I think, realizes that, so they're probably going to play around this Immortal phase, maybe just race out on their end and then try and poke or something like that. We'll have to see how that works out for them. But overall, it's going to come down to the team fight, realistically, between both teams.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I mean, that death timers get long enough, right? I think you've got a really good point that eventually those team fights are going to push long enough to where, or at least the when they win a team fight, those death timers are going to push long enough to where they'll eventually get this race. I mean, I'm just a little concerned about the early game, right? Because you are going to win these team fights, then you're going to waste all of your resources trying to race, and when the next team fight happens, you're going to be out mana, you're going to be out health, you're going to be out resources. Are you still going to be okay for the next fight? I guess that's my only concern about that. However, at the same time, I mean, their race isn't terrible. They still have Stukov. He didn't take Spine Launcher, which means that his damage is still that full damage that he has. And you also still have that Aullora, whose auto attacks are very strong. But I'm actually curious if they decide to just push a little bit without the objective, because they do have pretty strong push. They've got that Deathwing, they've got Ragnaros, they have the possibilities of those globals. So I'm really curious to see how they play that out. But as far as Down to Dongle goes, what do you think they need to win these team fights? They have that double blind for Cassia to really get some value there. They do have the possibility, which I always want to see it, of Light Bomb into the drop from
Falling Sword.
What is that? Falling Sword. That's what it is. Light Bomb into Falling Sword. Love that combo. They have the possibility of that. And then they also still have Li Ming. I mean, what do they need to do? What should their strategy be in these team fights so they don't just get blown up by Aullora left and right and wasting so much damage on Deathwing, who's just going to eat all that damage before they end up dying? So what should they be adjusting in their team fight?
Well, before we get into that fact really quickly, just to update everyone at home, because I know you're wondering, you're throwing bits at us and you're like, here's 200 bits from Ghost Bear Hots. What's the update? No, I get it. You don't have to rush us. Fan of Cronus as well. Thank you for the 100 bits. We currently have one of the players losing power at their house, and they actually have the power back on. They let everyone know through Discord on their phone that they're coming back into this game. We just need to get them booted back up, get them to restart Heroes of the Storm, and we should be back into our game momentarily. So thank you all for hanging out. Thank you once again for pushing us towards the bit goal for the evening for those players. But to round it back to our discussion here, Going into the Alarak and going into the Deathwing, it's going to be, I think, one of those things where they have to play around the Chastise, and they also have to play around potentially what you're just bringing up, Falling Sword, Light Bomb from Joanna, or even Blessed Shield as a setup, because they have to. I think they have to just kind of chain CC and bank on the fact that Selenityy should be able to capitalize on a kill when they can maybe get a Chastise followed up by a Blessed Shield, followed up by a Feral Spirit from Thrall. And I think it's going to boil down to those three heroes setting up Cassia and Li Ming to get the kills, and then it's going to be on them to obviously follow it up. So if they're able to step up and have that setup and get the lockdown and blow them up, it's going to work out so very well for them. All right, we actually, just to keep everyone updated right now, because I'm seeing everything, he's on the Discords. They're on Discord on PC. The loading screen is coming, and they're reconnecting into game. So we should be back into this momentarily. Thank you for all being so very patient as we are getting back into this one. But that is at least how I'm looking at things right now. Seems like they should be able to turn this around, but it might be literally 10 Talontiers that actually give them that dynamic shift. Until then, I think they have to play safe and maybe eat an Immortal phase or two.
And they may just need to give up a fort with that Immortal phase too. So with that being said, guys, I would be crazy not to mention, and LDAP, thank you for that. Bits. I'd be crazy not to mention we are 65% to our goal with bits. And don't forget that if you put in 1,000 bits, you get a big ass bar of soap. So as an emote that you can use and you can spam whenever we mention said big ass bar of soap. And so throw in 1,000 bits, get that big ass bar of soap. And guys, we need to hit that goal. We are so close, and we do have just a few games left. A couple of games left. Hopefully it goes to best of threes. That's my own personal thing right there. But it looks like we are going to be getting back into this game. With that being said, we see again Coffee and Mewn just tracing away. They are able to get that halftime show and their level 7s ahead of down to Dongle. Good sleep coming out from Alex. Not too much going on though. Both teams playing a little safe,
forcing them back. But this is what we were talking about a little bit. I think they can't really step up in these team fights. They're afraid of Coffee's telekinesis. They're afraid of Deathwing as well. So they're going to try and poke at them here and there. Looks like Thrall's poking from the top area as well. Going to use the Wind Fury just to get away from the Turk a little bit faster. While that's happening, though, look at Aullora on the left-hand side of our screen. We'll be working on that Immortal phase, and that's when you can see Selenityy also trying to dump in the damage as well. But the Turk steps forward looking for an engagement. They're actually going to take a lot of damage. That will be Aullora getting forced back as well. So much has been going on to Casanova as this Deathwing is actually going to use the Cataclysm to swipe through. But that's 1v3 as Anduin goes down below us. And the Turk is still just 1v3ing casually. They're going to be able to make it out alive. And while all that was happening, the Immortal with 810 health. They just need Selenityy to get 1 or 2 magic missiles in here. Aullora is still getting the damage out. Will they be able to finish this out?
It's
my God,
so close. That came down to 449 health, and that 449 will be transferred to be a temporary shield, giving him a ranged attack until that 429, whatever it was at, 449 is gone. That being said, that was a really close game. That Deathwing play right there is exactly what I thought of when Deathwing entered this game. He charged into 3 people, scared them off for long enough for his team to win the objective, and then he walked away at very low health. And it's like, that's what's so cool about Deathwing is like, imagine if Deathwing joined your team and you were like really in this game. That's what would be so cool, is to have that feeling of this giant dragon just flying in going, okay, we've got time, let's finish this objective. And then when Deathwing's just shambling away, they're like, all right, he did his job. With that first objective, that will be a fort. We talked about the potential of that being the first fort. And with the end of this, it would be interesting to see how Down Dongle recovers from this objective. Let's head over into their comms and have a listen.
I am Queen Spear.
I'm on the way bottom.
Oh yeah, Mercer.
They're all bottom here. Experience that we can. I'm coming down. We'll just have maybe just Sally go get the side lanes hook after this.
Alright, combo's down.
Coming down. I went there, just be careful.
I got a wolf.
I don't have wolf.
Just try and run out.
Yep, we're good. Big wolf in 1.
We're just trying to. We're gonna end up like losing this probably. So just try and run.
You still want me top, right?
Yeah. We just need soak. Like if we die down here, that's on us. It's not like. Yeah.
Alright, that's fine.
Yep. Keep working on 10. It's fine.
Well, I pushed all the way out, so now I'm coming down.
Yeah. Maybe we see 5 here. They're lava waving top.
Deathwing doesn't have the plates at 1, by the way, so we can burst him.
Well, I do burst him.
Cool.
I really like how they were looking at the fights and going, hey, let's look at these talents. The Deathwing doesn't have something, and I thought that was really good.
Oh, Mew gets dove on right there. There was actually a dark conversion used by AlexDidz onto, I believe it was Vipey, through the wall just to get some health back, and they had to actually back off for a couple seconds. But the Turk trying to make their way out. Unfortunately, they're going to be going down. And right there, like catching them on the back foot, that's exactly what they needed. And here's the crazy thing too, Paradox. The objective timer on Battlefield of Eternity is not that long. I want to say it's as close to Brax's holdout. Like, I think they might actually be the same timer in between objective phases. So this already being back up after getting a kill or two, chasing enemy out of the bottom lane, that is such a great spot to be in on the side of down to Dongle, while they were down for quite a bit of that game right there. And I also want to quickly note on some of the questing talents. We have Thrall with Echo the Elements, that's all done. Fetid Touch from the Stukov at level 1 is at 17 out of the 30 stacks. And Ragnaros did finish out the level 1 Sulfurous Hungers. But now we have Trickster going to pop the Earthquake. Nice leap of faith to save them, but they're going to re-engage once again. Earthquake proccing, giving Frostwolf resilient stacks. Light Bomb coming out onto the Joanna. They connect onto a couple. That's going to be Ragnaros going down. Counter-Strike was used by Coffee. That's going to be... Oh, the Valkyrie goes out from Vipey, but they don't manage to catch anyone right there. Cataclysm from the Turk getting towards the friendly side. This Immortal phase going over in favor for the members of Down to Dongle, I was going to say, as Trickster goes down. And this is the other factor. This is the opposing side of what I was talking about. While they do have race potential on the side of Down to Dongle, their fight potential around this Immortal phase is seemingly weaker, as just every single time they try and step up, they're able to just turn this around. Huge telekinesis coming in from Coffee, but they're going to back off, getting a couple kills. They do have a very low Immortal phase that they need to protect, but Ragnaros is back and looks like they'll start working on the Immortal on the left-hand side of our screen.
I love that coordination from Down to Dongle. They had a stun from the Blessed Shield into a stun from the Light Bomb into a 80% slow from Subdue from that Joanna. All of that together, 1 kill. Even though it was so perfect on 3 different enemies, and it just got dropped. And look at Selenityy just racing, doing just a quick little race to the side. It's going to be more than what Ragnaros can do, and she does not need to do very much. And that's going to be them. And again, that's that race problem. Even though Upstanding Citizens has this amazing team fight, they're winning the fights even when they're taking unfavorable fights. They just can't race fast enough to deal with the fact that they kill a couple people and they can't do anything with that. So with that being said, this is Red Team's Immortal, and once again, that huge health bar and huge shield indicates that until that shield's broken, this Immortal has a ranged attack, which against an entire team of melee, that means that this ranged attack is going to be very brutal, except we do have that Ragnaros trait followed by a lava wave to burn that shield down quickly.
They're actually going to make quick work of this Immortal. I was going to suggest maybe checking out team comms, but right now it's just clear, everyone playing safe and not stepping too far up. I actually really like that they were just like, you know what, we can't step into this, let's respect it. We'll get the front gate, we'll back off. But we'll check out the team comms here in a little bit, maybe during the next Immortal phase. But Trickster and the Turk battling it out in top lane. Thrall into Deathwing is actually very, like, it's just kind of perfect as a 1v1 matchup right now into this top lane. But they're just going to be poking each other back and forth. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, I'm going to be missing the kill onto Mal'Ganis. I think they tried to go for a dark conversion. It is at 75 seconds on that cooldown right there. Selenityy might be able to find a kill into Mewn. Oh, they have the blast wave. They should be able to make it out just fine.
Yeah, Dark Conversion was going off, and I don't know if it actually... Ooh, that's Mewn getting taken out as well.
Good earth.
I don't believe it actually did...
No.
I think it like just got off and then he died, but yeah, it was pretty rough. But this game is back and forth. Every time I'm going, oh man, Down and Dongle, they've got this, and then the objective just gets stopped immediately, and Upstanding Citizen gets a kill, and I'm like, oh, Upstanding's got the rest of this game, and then it goes right back again. So this game is definitely back and forth. Anyone can certainly win this game. I think the longer the game goes on, the more favorable it is for Upstanding Citizens, because their team fight's so strong and death timers get so long that it would give them that opportunity to race. But at the same time, all it takes is one good race for Down and Dongle to have that huge, healthy Immortal going through. But with this, we do have the Immortals spawning in the next 20 seconds. I would love to hear Upstanding Citizens comms right now.
This, and then we clear the Shaman camp.
Wave up in 5, I'll just wave bot.
Yepers. I think you just clear
Clear this really fast and then run. Okay, run to defend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a 16. Coffee's dead.
They're bushing right there.
We can still fight, I think.
That's really annoying.
Slowly, but under our immortal, we can fight.
Yeah.
Come. Aullora, come.
Coming. That blind fucked me up.
Make sure to spread the heal to the tank. I can't. Okay, there we go.
Oh my god, get Casa. Oh.
Good trick.
Help Turk get out if you can.
Oh my god, this earthquake.
Focus roll. Alright, we're good. Back off, Alex.
Yeah.
Just keep him in this choke. I'm getting a bunch of free poke all the time. It's really, really good right now. I literally have free W's with no free.
Bang.
Ah, he DC'd again.
What the? Well,
There you go. That is another DC.
that is a DC indeed. All right. What have we seen so far, Paradox? We've seen good fights over these Immortal phase, but this is kind of what we were talking about. During the Immortal phase, it is difficult for the members of Down to Dongle to step into Upstanding Citizens because of the Deathwing, the prowess, all the threat that they have around the Immortal phase. It's so hard to deal with. Desert Jester, thank you for the 1,000 bits as we get a rip coffee indeed. Yes, thank you for the 1,000 bits. And maybe, you know what? Maybe if we finish out tonight's bit donation, our bit goals and everything, maybe Coffee's power will come back on or something.
That's all it takes. His power, see, his power is actually drawn by the bits. So the more bits you throw in, the better his internet actually is, to the point that if we hit the goal, not only will he come back, he will have a ping of 35. Wait, that's not how that works. He will have a ping of 1. 35,000 ping would be wild. He currently has 35,000 ping with his power going out. No, his power will come back on if we hit that bits goal. I promise that. I will hold. No, I'm not actually promising that, but should be good. 3-2-3, yes. Yeah, overall, I mean, these fights are getting more and more scary for Down a Dongle, but at the same time, it's like, again, they race so quickly that they don't even need to really win the first fight. They just need to not lose the first fight so hard, burn all the enemy resources, and then come back with full health, full mana, win the next fight, and then win the race. And that's all they need to do here. But with that Thrall being dead, all of their cooldowns down, they just need to do a soft reset right now. It looks like everyone's about ready, so we should be heading back in very soon.
Oh, let's get back on into it as we are here in game number 1. And we are going on in through this top lane with Turk is going to get picked off just as we get back into this. And looks like Alaric is going to work on the Immortal on the left-hand side. We do have the enemy team. No, they're actually going for the defense on the side of down. Oh my god. Excuse me. Upstanding Citizens going for the defense, but that's going to be the pull in onto Mewn. And they have so much initial damage coming out here. Blessed Shield into the face from Casanova. Aullora taking so much as well. They're trying to get the pick onto them. That's going to silence out from Coffee. They come. Their internet's back, and apparently they've got a better ping because they just landed such a great combo onto Casanova. Sleep coming through as well. Not going to capitalize onto Vipey, but now we just go ahead, turn back to the Immortal phase. Going to go for the defense while they leave Aullora for the race. No, actually, Coffee is going to be coming over here for the race as well.
And this is probably, I would say, as far as race speeds, I would say you would want for sure the Alarak, possibly the Stukov to be on the race, because they do have decent races. Ragnaros could be all right, but a little inefficient as far as mana goes. This is a quick camp call during halftime show. You usually don't have a lot to do, and they're on defense anyways. So that camp will be pressuring a keep if they can just stall this objective out, which is what it looks like Upstanding Citizens' plan is just stall out this objective and then see if it threatens a keep. When someone goes to defend against that objective, they might go in. And I like it. I think it's a cool call. We do have Turk dropping in, big Deathwing coming down, and we do have a bit of a breath. A breath's actually being used to race a little bit. That is a blessed shield coming out. 80% slow. A pull in. That should be Mewn getting taken out. Huge heals coming out from Mewn though, keeping himself alive just a little bit longer. But he won't be able to heal Coffee, nor will he be able to heal Aullora. And that is 2 people being taken down on Upstanding, 3 people down on down to Dongle though, and that will be 4. So they do win that fight. They still have Stukov available to race. On the other side, we do have. But it looks like they might just be going for a keep here, which is probably the better play anyways.
They had a good wave in bottom lane. I want to say Turk played that so perfectly. They were trying to step up and get the kill into Stukov, but Turk had the bellowing roar from Deathwing, and that actually forced back anyone who was about to get the kill, and then Selenityy wasn't able to capitalize. Right now, we currently have them poking at the core between Didz and Mewn, and I don't think they can end, so they're going to just turn around. This was Deathwing working on the Immortal, and well, not the fastest race on the planet. I feel like the health bar hasn't really moved much. Stukov going to be coming in here to help out. Not also a very quick racer, but also Stukov does hit for 529 in auto currently. They just hit every once every other moon. They're able to actually get a hit onto this Immortal. But right now, enemy team is back up and they're looking to step up and deny the Immortal phase to the enemy team. They forced them back for now. I believe we've already gotten our halfway phase, so this means that we won't be having any shifting Immortals just yet, and we also had the Ragnar's clearing top lane looking to get close to that 20. You know what we should do here? We should jump into the comms for down to Dongle.
Just stay above Alex. Like, don't come near him. Just keep poking the side.
I'll watch the bush. You guys chill. Wait,
Okay.
rag.
Yeah, rag behind you. Rag behind you.
Nice.
Move next.
Hold on, we're slept.
We're all done. King on. It's fine. Don't panic.
Move down.
Okay, just
Looking at Deathwing.
From the back.
Come back to Sim.
Okay, he flew away.
Kill him out.
Kill Alex.
Nice.
They're racing. Just go race. Ow.
On the way to race.
I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna go
fine,
back
run
into
us.
core.
I'm racing. I'm spamming damage.
Yep.
We can kill him afterwards if we want to. Oh, he jumped again. Kill him.
If you can. They don't have spawns.
Careful, he might turn on you in this tower, so don't forget.
Alright, back out. That's fine.
Okay.
I would like to back.
Some good calls there, Paradox. Some really good calls.
They really were, and I mean, this is exactly what I said Down Dongle needed to do. They needed to lose the first fight on an objective, but don't lose it too bad. Only just lose some resources. Let the enemies waste their time with their pitiful race that we saw that Deathwing doing a pitiful race, and then win the next objective, or win the next fight when you have resources, the enemies don't, and then use your race to actually win the objective. It worked perfectly for them, to the point where all they need to do is that one more time, and they could be in a really good spot to win this game. It'd be great if they could take the bottom fort, though, so that the next objective that they get is healthy and going for a keep. Because if they currently lose the next objective, then they will likely be at risk of losing a keep and possibly the game. So they need to hit 20s here. Once Down to Dongle hits 20s, if they can just do that one more time, they're in this game. If not, then they're going to be in a really, really rough situation. His Upstanding Citizens is, I mean, there's just a keep available, and that's it. And that keep's also already missing one turret and the front walls. So it's going to be a very, very tricky situation for Down to Dongle.
Right now, they're actually going to grab their camp, force that into top lane. Deathwing grab the top lane camp as well. We currently have bottom lane grabbed by the members of Upstanding Citizens. But look at this bush party that's being set up right now. Actually, I think they both had the exact same idea at the exact same time. It was just like AlexDidz was, oh, all right, well, we got ourselves a pause.
You know, more power outages. Oh, a mouse died.
Apparently
you know who needs? You know what would be great to get a new mouse? Baha, how could these players get a new mouse, one that doesn't die?
They could probably, I don't know, get money from the community prize pool, maybe something like that.
Something like that. So guys, again, we are 68% through this bits. You donate the bits, and we can get a new mouse for this person whose mouse keeps dying. Just saying, or at least batteries at the very least. But the pause is over. We are back in And this is level 20s again, almost picked up 20s on both sides. I do want to mention there's a little fun talent that was picked up by AlexDidz called Alone in the Dark on Mal'Ganis. When he sleeps someone, their vision radius is reduced pretty much to the point of you can only really see right around yourself, and for 2 seconds, and he can sleep an entire group. So it's a really chaotic ability that can be a lot of fun. One that I don't normally see too often. Ooh, this is 2 different teams playing some shenanigans right here. Both try to do something crazy, but this is level 20s, and we have them going in. Casanova, he's going to immediately Blessed Shield, pulling everyone in, 80% slow, Light Bomb, everyone's stunned, but can they finish off Aullora? They cannot. Mewnfare was just silencing that entire zone the whole time, preventing anyone from doing anything. Coffee gets taken out. That's going to be his sadism, and that was a great engage from down to Dongle. And remember, they have a lot of race, so they should be able to do quite a bit to this Immortal before the enemy team actually can even try to do anything about that. We do see a lot of race coming out from Selenityy. She did end up picking up Fireflies. It's a little bit more sustained damage, a little bit less burst, and it looks like in this case that sustained damage is really, really helping it speeding up this Immortal.
Well,
ooh, nice root there.
Oh, that's a very good root there. Trying to play around the Immortal stun as well. They don't get it, but they're still going to be able to now have Deathwing on the far side of this. I don't think they have the Cataclysm up and available just yet, as they need to get to the far side of this. They have so much damage immediately done as they look for that flank, but now we have AlexDidz actually be getting forced away. Selenityy, well, I was going to say might have saved them, but they still followed up onto that, and that will be the members of Down to Dongle taking an Immortal phase with almost full shielding, and this will be going into top lane. The reason we know this is because of the fact that top lane has more health on the structure. Bottom lane, you can actually see on the minimap, is a little bit lower as well. So we are going to be going up through this top lane, going to be pushing up with the Immortal, and we actually have Casanova currently clearing the bottom lane on that Joanna. But right now, this Immortal phase, we're 21 minutes into this game here, and this is also going to be an Immortal with a full shield. 990 is going to be the auto currently.
990 damage, all range until that shield's destroyed. Lava Wave should do a decent amount. Trait is still available, but you normally fort that's almost destroyed because everyone can focus on that. This is a forced engage onto the Aullora gets taken out. Turk does get a nice fear in there to try to deal with that a little bit, but right here we do have the trait from Aullora, able to get a lot of damage off, hopefully at least remove the range from this, which is again just through that shield. Once that shield's destroyed, it'll walk up, and they should have a better chance of dealing with it. But they won't have Aullora for this, so they do still need to be pretty cautious about this fight. This is exactly what Down to Dongle wants right here. They want to be in a situation where it's a 4v5. They have almost an extra member, so it's almost a 4v6 here with that Immortal. They're taking this keep, and they still have a half-health Immortal. I would think that they would be pushing here and trying to finish off this game. One good Blessed Shield could end this game, and it looks like they're playing it a little bit safer, but all it takes is one good stun followed up by their team, and it could be game. Right here, they're going for the core. Now, there is a little bit of a race going on just because there are some minions in the bottom, but that's 56%, 44, 35, 24%, and this core is gone. GG. The first game of this series is going in favor of Down to Dongle. That was an intense game.
That's the way to start our best of 3 series that determines who goes to the grand finals next weekend. Like, 82,000 healing from Kyberries and Anduin. 82,000 healing. That is significant. 90,000 heroic damage from the Deathwing. 143,000 from Ragnaros when it comes to Siege. Whew. Some numbers being put up here, but that is going to be Down to Dongle taking game number 1.
And we also need to remember Selenityy spent most of her time just racing. So she even though she's spending so much time racing, she still brought 73,000 damage to that game. That was crazy. The team fights went back and forth. We had Vipey with 12 takedowns versus Aullora. Coffee was playing Aullora with 9 takedowns. I mean, this game really went back and forth so much. It was such a close game. It was anyone's game, really. It just came down to a little bit of different decisions. I really wish that Upstanding Citizens, instead of picking the Deathwing there, could have picked something that just had a little bit more race. But at the same time, they played it so well. Turk went in. He would 1v3 people on that Deathwing, pushing them away, getting everyone set up to where they could race. It's just they didn't really have that race. I really think Down to Dongle played the draft so well there. They got rid of Aulora's Lunara, which was forcing her to play Ragnaros, leaving Deathwing open to either them to take or for the enemies to take and have them have too many solo laners, too many tanks, too many of that. So Down to Dongle played not only the draft really well, but they also played very, very well during the game. And I just have to say they really, really played that so well. Vipey, I've got to give some extra credit for the amount of small picks he got here and there, and the amount of times that he pulled Mewn in. Every time that Mewn tried to go for a silence combo was pulled in the middle of their team. But at the same time, did you see how many times Mewn just walked away from that? He got healed and then he just walked away like it was nothing. And it was like they played it so well. This is what a clash of really great players looks like, is where one's catching another one during a mistake, one makes a play here and there, and then they all just have these small bouts and then one comes out on top. But in this case, I mean, there's so many times where people could catch someone and the other person just played it really well and got back out. So I just love it. It was awesome. It seriously was so awesome.
I think for map number 1, we had a lot of good back and forth between those two teams. We had a lot of also them kind of figuring out how to brawl into each other. Both were kind of learning as the game went along there. And I wish we could have jumped into the comms a couple more times just to see how they were playing some of those fights, because there were seriously so many moments where I was just like, I want to know what they're thinking during this fight and what their shot calling is like. But right now, I think both teams got a sense of how aggressive they're trying to beat into each other. Like, while they didn't really take a race comp per se on the side of Upstanding Citizens, they still had a really strong team fight overall. And that's not to say that the members of Down to Dongle didn't have one either. They had a race comp, plus they had a strong team fight. And as that game progressed, the back and forth into both teams really started to show. And it also started to show that the members of Down to Dongle scale a little bit more. And unfortunately, that also means that Deathwing continues the streak of a 0% win rate within the Heroes Hearth Celebrity Clash League. And I mean, that's a rough go. That's a rough go to pick something and be confident with it, and then to just lose out halfway through the game and just losing that momentum is such a rough way to kind of peter out during a game, because it felt a little bit like that. Like they had some really good momentum in the beginning, and then the death onto Alarak here and there, a kill onto Deathwing really just kind of put a pin in that momentum, and they just weren't able to bring it back up.
Yeah, it is tricky. I think one of the big challenges, Deathwing is a very strong hero, but I think one of the challenges is that the teams that we've seen Deathwing picked into, for the most part, have almost been forced. Deathwing, in his perfect scenario, is the solo laner on a map that's large, that you can abuse the global, abuse the fact that he's got the largest effective health in the game. So he's going to drop down, be very scary for a short burst, and then he's going to be gone. And that's the thing that we keep lacking, is we keep throwing him in the solo, but then we also keep drafting other solo laners, or we throw him as a solo tank. And it's just kind of in a weird spot where I believe that he's still a very strong hero. I just think that he's been kind of forced way too many times. And if we look at the other teams that have been playing around it, for example, the KTLs, they just let Deathwing slide. Deathwing has slid through their games, and they just have no interest in drafting Deathwing. And I think that's something that more of these teams should do, is Deathwing should be in the back of their mind. It's something to pick at the end of a draft if they don't have a solo laner, and if the enemies haven't countered, that would be an amazing time to bring him out. But as far as picking him first and then having to try to catch your draft up afterwards, is I feel like it's messing with these teams too much. So I would really like to see them not put that priority on Deathwing, and instead just throw that Ragnaros in the solo lane, throw the Mal'Ganis out there, and then put Turk on something fun. I mean, I've been asking for the Junkrat this entire time. We have not seen Turk's Junkrat yet. And Turk plays a mean Junkrat. And where's that Tychus? He played Tychus and did 60,000 damage by level 13.
I want to talk about that really quickly, because I hate to, I keep jumping back to this, but I was watching Into the Nexus last week, and Kyle was actually literally talking about that matchup into Turk. He was playing, Kyle Ferguson was playing Thrall, and Turk was playing Tychus, and I believe it was Cursed Hollow was the map, and they were in this bottom lane, and just constantly Kyle Ferguson couldn't actually walk into the lane. It wasn't because there was a gank potential. It was just literally because of how aggressive the Turk was being on said Tychus. And it really, really worked out so well. But on that note, we are going to be going ahead and getting on into game number 2 of our second best of 3 series of the evening. And guess where we're going? Cursed Hollow.
Cursed Hollow.
we got Cursed Hollow, and you were talking about Junkrat, which I think works really, really well. You've got a lot of poke potential with that. You've got a lot of ways to kind of control the curse phases, the tribute phases, as well. Since there's double boss, you can utilize the concussion mine to force people back, or the chattering teeth, the steel traps to be able to zone people away, but I'm leaning more towards the Lost Vikings here, and I feel like if we're gonna see the Turk play a hero, I would love to see a Lost Vikings on Cursed Hollow by them, because this is the map for it, and this is just the time to do it. This is definitely when you're trying to overwhelm the enemy team with experience. But I'm sure you have tons of thoughts on this map.
No, I mean it certainly is. Turk plays a mean Viking. For Vikings. Last time that they tried to do Vikings, it kind of struggled only because they hadn't fixed their rosters, but they have their rosters fixed now. They know exactly what they want to do. They know their strengths, their weaknesses. I think this would be a perfect time to pull out Vikings. It would be best if they could wait a little bit before bringing it out, something where they can show a team that's very push heavy, but don't actually show the Vikings itself, and then bring out the Vikings when the other team doesn't have enough time to pick a bunch of globals. We do see the Mal'Ganis ban. That was a good respect ban. I mean, we did see AlexDidz playing a pretty mean Mal'Ganis there. With first pick not available, they could ban Deathwing here, or they could start trying to ban some of the heroes that have been playing really well. We've seen Selenityy play a mean Li Ming, which is very good. There's the Li Ming ban.
Just about to say, yeah, exactly.
But Kyberries has also been playing a really good Anduin, so I could see both being the bans for sure. However, first pick, Anduin's a possibility, Joanne is a possibility, Deathwing is available, Vipey has played Deathwing, Trickster has played Deathwing. I mean, even stealing away the Rag could be pretty scary if they wanted to do that. There's the Abathur, which means the Vikings is going to come out right now. And the reason for it is because Vikings is one of I main Abathur. I love Abathur. Vikings is so annoying to play against as Abathur because you're going to get out soaked, and also there's gonna be something pushing your lane that you can't deal with, and there's not much you can do about it. So you don't get like that experience lead, and there's the Vikings.
Honest to God, I don't know how I feel about this, because an early Lost Vikings feels a lot like an early Deathwing. You are saying, cool, we've got 3 squishy little Nordic boys running around the map, and you can pick up things like Tracer, who can go into Untouchable, which actually, as a Viking hunter, does really well. Zeratul is a massive threat as well into the Lost Vikings because of how quickly they can burst them down before said player can really even catch that they're being bursted down. We are talking about Turk, and we're going to, elevate them a little bit here because, well, they're a very strong Vikings player, so maybe they're going to see those things happening. But still, the things like Genji, things that can really just dive and burst down Vikings, that's the thing that I'm most worried about. Even then, Malthael's a massive threat until they maybe go into, because they can go into jump, which will, you can mitigate the last rights from Malthael with that one, but those are still potential free stacks for a Malthael if they want to go in that realm. And a double Malthael from an Abathur clone, that's not bad to deal with, I'm not going to lie. So we'll love to see how this goes.
The big reason why it was picked so early is because it is one of the best counters to Abathur. And if you didn't pick it right then, it would have been banned by 3rd round. And I think that was the concern, because if you look at the picks right now, by the time they would have been able to pick the 2nd round, the bans would have came out. So I think that was the concern, is if they didn't pick Vikings now, it would have been banned.
I agree.
That being said, I do like the comps that we're seeing. Greymane works great with Vikings. Like, Vikings wants a 4-man push. That means Sylvanas and Greymane are really the 2 best heroes for that push. But some people will supplement. Instead of Sylvanas, they'll go with like Gul'dan, in this case Lunara. Heavy push damage is really what you want, and then you're going to want to have a disengage. Usually people will run something like a Gust, or in this case an ETC that can just knock people away and get them away, so you can switch to a different lane. You disengage so that they can't fight your 4-man, and then you have the Vikings cover all the other soak.
I looked over at chat, and it was something that I didn't want to say, but chat said it first, so I'm going to say that they said it. Butcher, potentially?
It's a possibility.
I was like, I've seen Trickster play Butcher on his stream, so that's why I was like, it's still possible that we could get it, but they're actually going to be going into a Dahaka, so they're more worried about the Vikings overwhelming them, so they're going to grab that Dahaka, which actually, as another counter to Abathur in a sense, it does really, really well because it can push up really quickly, it can rotate through lanes. Cursed Hollow is a great map for them, so I actually really like the Dahaka grab. The last pick, though, they still need a healer here, and a white mane. Interesting. Now, how are you feeling about this Dahaka? Because it sounded like you weren't too into it.
Dahaka's a good counter to Vikings. It's weird that you're your Abba pick gets countered, so then you go to counter. I would have rather just an Illidan personally, because Illidan also counters. Yeah, Illidan also counters Vikings, but he's also works really well with Abathur, and I'm surprised I didn't go with that. Dahaka is a good counter for Vikings, but I just really would have liked to see that Illidan instead. That's my own, and it's plus with Rhaegar.
Oh yeah,
you'll have spinning lightning, you'll have the shield, you'll have movement speed, you'll have him jumping in, you'll have globals, you'll have that Illidan will have everything on him. And be able to kill whoever he wants to, and he'll dodge all the damage from Greymane. He can dodge a portion of the damage from Lunara. I mean, I'm really surprised they didn't go with that, but I think they went there with a Dahaka just to give themselves an extra answer to Mosh.
Yeah.
But I doubt he's going Mosh. This is a stage dive if I've ever seen one.
The other thing too to note is that Jaina's. I think they're also going to try and only clone Jaina. Like realistically, because Jaina also does benefit. Her trait still gets value from the clones. So I think maybe that's why they just went into the Dahaka. So one, as you said, they can manage those lanes better. But still, the clone targets the jam. But either way, we're here. Game number 2 in our final best of 3 of the evening. Take it away, Paradox.
On the left side, blue team, we have Upstanding Citizens with AlexDidz playing ETC, Mewn on white main, Coffee on gray main, Aullora on Lunara, and the Turk playing the Lost Vikings.
And on the right hand side, excuse me, we got members of Down to Dongle trying to close this out in a 2-0 fashion. Vipey on the Slugboy, Abathur, Selenityy will be on the Jaina, Kyberry's on the Rhaegar, Casanova to be on the Arthas, and Trixler to round out the draft on the Dahaka. And we'll go ahead and catch into our mid lane and see what's going to be happening here. Rhyme actually the first pickup for the Arthas here. I mean, actually into the Great Main, into the Lunara, that makes actually a lot of sense now that I looked over. It took me a second. I was just like, wait a minute. Oh, wait, no, hold on. That's actually going to be great. But bottom lane, they're going to be trying to push this in. There's going to be the brush stroke from the Dahaka to force them back. No tongue drag to connect just yet. But either way, that forces the enemy team into the bottom lane, meaning that the Vikings will be able to get a free push in mid and top.
I will mention that Vikings has been changed quite a bit. Turk has been playing a but with the new experience system, he cannot just simply hide in a bush. He has to go up, collect the experience, and then he can walk away until the minions die once again. So it is a little bit more challenging to get experience as a Vikings, but he is a very good Vikings player. Down in the bot lane, AlexDidz does get very, very low. Doesn't end up getting taken out, which is very good for him. But at the same time, the goal of this map usually is to get good camps that will make it easier to win the objectives. The objective is 3 tributes. When you collect all 3, it will turn off the enemy structures, so they will no longer fire at you. It will also lower the minions' health down to 1 health, making it easy for you to push as a team wherever you want to go. It is a objective that is going to be very beneficial for both teams, because normally what you want to do on this objective is get value elsewhere and then join your team only when you really need to. So you stall out the objective, get experience. Well, both teams have so much global potential that neither team is going to really be able to abuse that for the other team. And it'll be really fun to see how both of these teams react to it. As far as the Vikings comp goes,
I'm just watching Trick right now neander their way into this top lane. They go for the tongue drag, but Turk actually jukes them with 2 Vikings. Not an easy task, but still, they're actually going to turn around, and Trickster has to be forced out of wave. This is just a crazy thing, because it's 2, as I said, 2 little Nordic boys throwing swords and I'm assuming rocks with a slingshot. Yeah, with a slingshot, and this is just a great evolved Zerg that is just like, all right, I got to leave lane. These Vikings are just too much for me. But you were noting this earlier. This is what the Vikings benefit the most from, and we're watching it right now on the side of Upstanding Citizens. They just got a fort in bottom lane, 2 minutes and 20-some seconds.
And most likely they're going to swap lanes now. So what normally happens is you take this, Vikings will cover the other 2 lanes that you're missing, and you'll have 4 heavy pushers going all the way down until you take a fort. Then you swap to the opposite side of the map and you take another fort. And then after that, you usually have a 2 to 3 level lead that you win a couple objectives and then close out the game. And the goal with that comp is to close out the game before the enemies get to level 20 with your experience leads. And I believe that's something that they certainly can do, because against an Abathur's rather weak until 10, so they can win these fights early. And they will also have that half a level lead, which is growing at the same time. So it will be really, really awesome to see them. I mean, they took this first objective for free, and they've got that fort. There is a drag on Immune, but it gets almost immediately interrupted by Alex with a great slide right there. But it looks like Immune will still get taken out because Casanova's got that perma-slows, right? The Arthas just constantly slowing around it is brutal, and he's caught right back up again. And a nice drag. I mean, this is exactly what Down and Dongle needs, though. They're going against a comp that they haven't practiced against before, but they are just picking one person after the next. I have to give a lot of credit to Casanova to knowing exactly the position that he needs to be in to lock down the most amount of people. Look at that. He even repositioned a body block Olaf while also getting in range to slow the Baylog as well, taking out both of them very, very easily. I mean, they took that experience lead that or that experience disadvantage deficit that they had anyways, and they completely shaved it down in literally a course of 25 seconds, all from great plays from Casanova and his team. Overall is really good. We do have tribute spawning, and I would love to see how Down and Dongle is thinking, what they're thinking about right now. So if we want to head into comms there, that would be awesome.
I got it.
We're kind of split right now.
Yeah, no, I'm okay here with just a hat. I'm okay, Kai, with just a hat.
Okay.
Alex is just keeping me out, but just keep pressuring. Eventually, I'm gonna get through him.
For Tim.
I'm gonna tap. I'm fine.
Okay.
Just melt him with my
Actually, I don't have tap.
symbiote powers.
I'm gonna bite this boy.
Keep an eye on lanes.
They have Lenara.
Look at Alex.
Alex is super low.
I can't reach.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
He's low from my mind.
Just run to them, Kai, if you can.
Nice.
Awkward.
Nice.
Like,
Greymane.
Yeah.
Rayman's invis.
Alright, I'm
I'm
soaking.
coming to Kai.
Nice. Good damage. Good stuff.
Kai, you cannot. I protect.
Okay.
Okay.
Feels amazing, man.
I mean, that was pretty funny, baby, but like, if he
gonna
does that, you guys are all good. Like, I can just keep pressure. Why are you
Nathan,
sitting there just trying to heal the fucking ETC from me killing him that whole fight? Like.
That was, I mean, they played that clean. Again, they have that experience lead despite going against Vikings, and Vikings' whole thing is win while you have an experience lead. Well, they don't have an experience lead, so it's going to be very difficult to have to come back from this. I mean, they still are gaining a lot more experience, even though they have those 6 deaths versus 1 kill. They still have nearly the same amount of experience here, and they do still have that forward experience, which is 20% increased experience or increased passive experience gained. And of that fourth they got earlier has given them a full 1,000 experience over the enemy team. Where they've gotten that deficit back is from that 3,000 experience they've lost in hero kills, though.
That's so much experience that they're still mitigating and keeping neck and neck throughout this entire game. Now, we are getting into another tribute point. It's not going to be cursed for either team, but I quickly wanted to go through some of the questing talents, as we've had a lot of players working on those, and I'm sure you're itching to find out. 10 out of the 20 stacks on the ETC for the Proc Rock at level 1. Hold on, AlexDidz taking a lot of damage right there. Casanova trying to step up, doesn't get the Howling Blast onto them, does need to back off as they take a lot of damage themselves. Actually pops the Army of the Dead, needing to just get a little extra healing, and I think they're expecting that fight to continue out further, but it's not going to continue as they cycle back towards the objective. The Turk actually, little Eric is going to get tongue dragged, but they're so swift, so brave, they're going to be able to get the boost out there, rotate into mid, keep grabbing the experience for the friendly team, as they actually have Kyberry's channeling on the right-hand side. The Turk will interrupt with Eric. Currently, that's going to be a wonderful Sacred Scarlet Aegis from Whitemane to save so many members, but unfortunately they get picked off. The Turk actually going for the channel on this objective as ETC goes down. Kyberry's trying to run out. They end up going down as well. Coffee so very low, is not able to live. Selenityy has the poison damage on them. They still get picked off, and that is going to be a 3-for-2, and the curse point going over in favor for the members of Upstanding Citizens. I gotta say, Paradox, that was a wild engagement.
It really was. I want to mention 2 things that made that engagement that maybe the players or the viewers did not see. The first is that all 4 of the members grouped up. That includes the clone. I think the only thing that wasn't grouped up was possibly the Arthas. He was a little bit further forward right before a mosh would have gone off, and was immediately or like right before he clicked the mosh button, because I could see AlexDidz stepping back up for a mosh. It was interrupted by a quick isolation. Which if that didn't happen, that fight would have been much different. And the second thing is that one of the Lost Vikings grabbed the tribute during that entire fight, which means that even though they did lose a lot of people there, they're ahead in experience now, and they're one tribute off from winning. Not winning, sorry, getting a curse. And in this case, we do have that tribute spawning right now, and a boss is being picked up in the lane that is already missing a fort, which is going to be very difficult because now they have to make Down and Dongle has to make a very, very tough choice right now: defend against a boss or lose the objective. And the objective is going to give them a curse.
Yeah, Turk is going to be pushing that lane up, but let's actually jump over to Upstanding Citizens comms, as this could be their curse.
Don't die.
Nice.
Got them all.
Full engage. Yay! Everyone has armor. Go, 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 go. I need help. I need help.
Come on, Reagan.
Okay.
Okay, I think.
Keep healing them all. Do we have no healers? So just don't expect heals. Focus trick.
Yep.
Kill the clone and then kill the tank.
I did it.
Okay, and then go bottom. Just start running bottom right now. Vikings will cap. Run bottom.
I'm going bottom.
Yeet. The boss is defending itself. Actually, coffee mid.
I'll run through it.
Oh.
He dead.
Yo!
Nice. Shit. Okay, yeah, coffee stay middle, everyone else. Okay, Janna's bottom, you're perfectly safe. Middle. Okay, swing middle, everyone middle.
Really good communication coming out from the members of Upstanding Citizens in that fight, and the shot calling from Moon right there is just like do this, go here. And they've got a game plan in mind, and it worked out really well for them. And this curse, they're going to be yielding themselves to keep in bottom lane. They're looking for mid lane, as they actually have a lot of pressure onto Trickslayer as well as Casanova, who have to tap well. Army of the Dead is 6 seconds off from coming back up. Vikings going to jump up. That's going to be the power slide in. That's going to be Trickslayer on the far side of this engagement. They get the dive in from Coffee. Cleanse comes out as well, but they still end up going down. Casanova getting very low. Go for the throat, getting a lot of value right there. Selenityy, a leaping strike from Aullora. Paradox, they are cleaning up, and the members of Upstanding Citizens are looking to take us to a game number 3.
And that's what it's looking like. That is 3 people down. That is Clone come up. Clone Drago Olympian. That is game number 2. GG in favor of Upstanding Citizens. They played this so well, and this is exactly what you want to do on Vikings. Get a level lead. They had a 3-level lead, get a talent tier lead, and close out the game before the enemies catch up on that lead. And they had a rocky start, but honestly, I think that rocky start was Down Dongle just playing very well. But then they came back from it. They had great shot calls in that last fight, and they set up that last fight so well. They put the opposing team into an impossible situation, and then made it to where they had to answer that impossible situation, and they just couldn't do it. That was played very, very well by Upstanding Citizens. I just absolutely love that. They played that amazingly. But now that we've seen Turk play that Vikings in the scariest sense that I can even say, is he ever going to get Vikings again, is going to be the question. First, we've got this next game. If it's on a big map, Vikings is going to have to be banned. If it's on a small map, then maybe Vikings doesn't get picked up, and we maybe see that Junkrat that I've been asking for the last 3 weeks. But I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see how it plays out. As far as hero damage goes, I just want to bring up Coffee versus Selenityy really quick. Selenityy, who's been dominating the hero damage this entire CCL, is at 25,000 hero damage that game, with Coffee sitting at 40,000 hero damage, and Aullora 31,000. And we saw at the end there, Aullora was she dropped out Abathur, she dropped out Selenityy. I mean, she was just doing so much damage there. So that was very, very well played. And there was something else that I kind of noticed. Have we been, whenever we join a comms before an objective, I feel like the teams tend to play a little bit better during that fight. It's happened the last 4 or 5 times, and I'm like, I think we're good luck charms. I figured we would kind of actually be the opposite, because they hear us joining if they don't turn off those sounds. And I personally would be like freaking out if I heard 5 people joining comms really quick. But at the same time, I think we are good luck charms here. That's just what I'm saying.
I'd like to consider myself one. I really quickly want to shout out to Neo for the 1,000 bits as we got out of that game.
Get your big ass
had Full On Grits with the 100 bits in there as well. Moist Venus with a 69. I saw there was a 69 earlier from Moist Venus as well. So thank you all for supporting. And then you actually did see that we did have a little bit of money come in here as well, some cash. Twisted Cyberchick with the $3, as well as Soap Fanatic with the 15. And then Desert Jester with a 1,000 bit donation for Game 3 hype. And I mean, I can't blame you. Game 3 is what I'm looking forward to here as well. And Selexia, thank you for the 69 bits. But we're currently getting all the players, getting all the players into our lobby here for our third and final game of the evening. And Metal Magic with 500 bits as well.
500 bits right there. Yeah.
Let's go. Thank you, everyone. We are so close. Let's see if we can get the caster math right here. We are 24% off from finishing out all of the bits for the players this evening, and we are very close when it comes to the donations as well. So thank you all for supporting. Thank you all for getting us closer and closer to that goal. But I think we need to get into our next game here. And
I believe so.
Who's going to the grand finals next week?
That is definitely what we are looking at right now. The next map is going to be Infernal Shrines, which is one of my favorite maps, and I am excited about it. One of the things that I really like about Infernal Shrines is that it's a map that the objective takes a while to get, which means that if a team decides we're not going to win this objective, they have a lot of time to get a lot of stuff in other places. So, for example, if you're like, oh, well, they're going to dominate us. Like, they've got level 10s, we've got level 9s. The objective's at top. Let's just go bottom and take a fort, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that I love about it is just decide not to take the fight, go take something else, and then you get something of almost equal value sometimes by just choosing not to fight, which is one of the reasons that I like this map. The other reason I like this map is it encourages AoE and single target. So it has a very wide roster pool. Single target to deal with, individuals burst, to deal with the objective if you lose it, and AoE so that you have a higher chance to win that objective. So I love the roster pool of this map. It's huge.
We are getting so very close to our goal here. Really quickly, as you were saying all of that, we actually had Thundercracker with the 300 bits, Blonde Duchess with the 400 bits, and then we had Bonbuka with the 500 bits as well. At some point, your bits can trigger a hype train, and we might be able to push closer and closer towards that goal. But thank you, seriously, everyone donating and pushing towards these players. We are the reason we keep bringing all this up is because the fact that this helps out the players so much. As 3,000 bits come in from Casper.
Ooh.
Dear Lord.
Casper's getting us so close. Ooh. We only need a little under 5,000 now. 4,200-ish. And we are so close. Casper with those 3,000 bits. That is crazy. Yeah, I mean, 1,000 right there. And guys, that gives you your big ass bar of soap emote as well. So make sure to spam those soaps.
Casper,
when you get
another 1,000
Casper, another 1,000 closer. That is awesome. We do have Blonde Duchess with an extra 400. Cap 10, awesome. 300. Guys, we are at 94%. We only need about 1,200 more.
You're the best people on Earth. You are the best people on Earth.
This should be it right.
Venus with the 1,000 bits. We're just yelling over each other. There's so much coming in right now. Who took the odds with 100 bits? We have another two. We have 2,000 bits in from Desert Jester. Dear Lord, we are so close. We're at 96% for tonight's bits goal.
I believe we're there.
Did we already blow through this?
Yeah, we went through it. I believe we are over what Casper threw in. It's just a little bit of a delay once that goes through and brings in everyone. There it is. We're at 107,000. Sorry, 107% at 37,624.
We're giving the people what they want. Bandit, come cast with us. Come here, bud.
You bringing in Bandit?
This is for all of you. Thank you for donating bits. Do you want a treat, bud? Yeah, come up here. Come.
Should I bring in Kronos?
Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you bring. We bring in all the dogs here while we're getting ready for.
Oh, you want me to bring in Kronos? Hold on, let me get Kronos real quick.
All right, I know the teams are ready, but they're gonna.
Give me 1 minute though. I got to bring in Kronos.
These teams can wait. Puppies are on stream. We have puppies on stream. We're getting. This is the most important thing we can do for all of the audience. Oh dear Lord, 20,000 bits. Dear Lord, Workhorse. We're at 116%. I don't even know if it's calculated that either. Oh God, I don't even know what we're currently at. Oh wait, it's a big ass circle. Emo Control, thank you for the 500 bits. Look at our friend. Look at this is because of all of you. All these beautiful animals on stream because of all of you. All right. The players are yelling at us currently, but we have to let them know that we had to show animals. So going in 5. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get on into our next game here. Hold on, I have to actually count down. But either way, we are going to be loading on into Infernal Shrines to close out our matchup this evening. 8,000 bits from Casper, hello?
Oh!
We're almost at 200% of tonight's goal. Welcome to Infernal Shrines.
That is crazy. And we're almost there to the next week's goal. Yeah, that's, oh man. 8,000 bits. Casper is at 21,000 a day. That's crazy.
Thank you.
Absolutely
seriously.
crazy.
Like, y'all the best community on earth, and thank you so much for supporting these players. Like, this all goes back into the players. First and second place takes 35% of the entire prize pool. 15% of that goes to a third and fourth place, respectively, 15 each. Not, it's not divided in half or anything like that. So these players are getting a lot of what you're putting into here, and so thank you so much. Like, I keep writing it down, but over week 1 and week 2, we roughly raised $1,600 that will be divided out towards these players at the end of next week. So seriously, like, wait, hold on. What else? What else?
Workhorse is in a battle right now. So Workhorse, I missed the 20,000, and now he just did 8,001, putting Workhorse 1 bit above, right?
Casper, literally 1 bit above Casper.
Ooh, we've got a little bit of a.
We should be talking about draft. Hold on.
We do have. Aullaura's pick just got banned with Lunara.
Casper with 8,002 bits.
Oh no. Oh no. That is crazy.
I'm sorry. I'm losing it right now. Like, first off, everyone in chat is getting emotes from Workhorse and Casper, so enjoy your emotes. There's 150 or so emotes coming through. Blonde Duchess, thank you for the 200 bits as well. All right, let's get into the draft. We'll try and touch on the bit donations here and there, but that's a first pick AlexDidz to start things out on the side of Down to Dongle. Not a hero that we often see prioritized on Infernal Shrine. Something like Stukov is more prioritized, Anduin as well, but her zone potential in her dragon form is quite strong. This is risky from Upstanding Citizens to go into the Deathwing once again. Beckwin noted in our game number 1 that Deathwing has a 0% win rate in CCL, and I believe that's after 4 games total, including the first game in this series. So 0-4.
But they have to bring the dragon version. Can you do right there? We do see Selenityy on Greymane this time. I don't believe I've seen her on Greymane in the series. We have Vipey on Kira, which he has played a pretty mean Kira.
I've watched him play Kira on his stream. It's terrifying. And Selenity's she's proven that she's a very mechanically savvy player with her Li Ming play. And we were actually talking about this before the stream started. Greymane is also a very mechanically heavy based hero. So being able to have the mechanics from Li Ming, that's going to translate to Greymane. And I don't doubt the prowess that Selenityy will have on said hero. Mal'Ganis to actually be removed here. That's actually a little interesting because I haven't seen Down to Dongle focusing on the Mal'Ganis whatsoever, if I'm not mistaken, right? It's always been AlexDidz.
So, I mean, one of the challenges about an Uther main tank is that you have this issue where you're great at setting up a fight, you're okay at peel, but if they start getting way too far from you because you don't have that mobility, it takes a long time for you to get back to your backline after Mal'Ganis has just slept you, moved into your backline. It takes you so long. So that's where I think they just want to get rid of it. And he's great on this map too. But yeah, they haven't put that priority on there. I honestly think that Casanova is probably just going to pick a Joanna here. But as far as the rest of the team, Kel'Thuzad is open. Uther can stun to land the first chain, which means Uther stun, Kel'Thuzad combos, and with an AlexDidz there, I think Kel'Thuzad would be a lot of fun. That's just my thought. Aullora Ragnaros is available.
Coffee's Kel'Thuzad is not something to scoff at. But also, really quickly, Workhorse, thank you for the 999 bits. But a Kerrigan and Ragnaros coming in. We saw that Aullora is very strong on Ragnaros. Kerrigan here with the Uther on Infernal Shrines. This is something we often do see played together quite a bit because of you can get the initial stun from Uther, then Kerrigan can pull in with the Ravage and the Impaling Spike as well, and then it can just keep diving in with the Ravage itself. I actually think it's Primal Grasp, I think, is the actual pull. But either way, that's a Leoric and Diablo to round out the draft. We haven't seen much, if any, Diablo popping up here lately, and this is interesting for me to see them in this game. But with the Kira and the Greymane, I guess they don't feel like they have a strong Anub'arak player, so they're going to focus on that Diablo to be able to initiate with the Kira and the Greymane, and Leoric can just dive in with them as well. I got to say, Down to Dongle is a threatening composition, but I'm curious to see how Upstanding Citizens will be able to round up this draft. It's a Whitemane again.
The Whitemane. I think Whitemane's a good thing because Uther can handle the healing when Whitemane struggles, and Whitemane can handle the healing during... I think the big challenge is, what have I been mentioning about forcing this Deathwing? Deathwing likes to be a solo laner, likes to do his own thing, and once again, the Lunar was banned, forcing Aullora to pick solo lane, which means that they have 2 solo laners. So that's forcing Ragnaros to go in the 4-man. Ragnaros, Kerrigan in the 4-man means that they're going to do no damage out of a full engage. And during a full engage, they have Leoric to mitigate the damage. So looking at this draft, with everything said that we've seen before, I feel like Down Dongle has a little bit of an advantage here with the type of draft that they have. But at the same time, we can't call out anything because AlexDidz is playing one of his favorite heroes. We've got Turk playing Deathwing, which he loves. Coffee on Kerrigan, which he's played a lot of, and Aullora on her main. So it could still seriously go either way. And with that being said, on the left side, we've got Upstanding Citizens with AlexDidz playing Uther, Mewnfare on Whitemane, the Turk on Deathwing, Coffee playing Kerrigan, and Aullora on Ragnaros.
On the right-hand side, we got the members of Down to Dongle. We got Kyberries on the AlexDidz, Casanova to be on the Diablo, Vipey on that Kira, Selenityy to be on the Greymane, and to round it out, Trixler on the Leoric. We get into mid lane, and we'll see what our first engagement looks like here, Paradox. I'm excited about this game 3. Also to note, we are at 100% on our tips as well as our bits. We are over 100% on both of those. So thank you to everyone in chat. Thank you for everyone cheering and encouraging, well, the community itself, and also funding all of this and helping us keep these wonderful games going, as well as more to come in the future. But right now, we have got ourselves our game number 3 to determine who's going to the grand finals next Wednesday, February 12th, and that'll be going up against the KTLs. And Paradox, this is how I wanted a series to end this evening, in a game 3 coming down to the wire.
And it's really is, that's exactly what's happening. I mean, we have a 2 pretty wild team comps. I mean, one team comp is standard, but it is going to be tricky into this comp. We do have a lot of damage on the Casanova. Is it going to be enough to finish him off? It's very hard to kill a Diablo, but the AlexDidz can only do so much healing onto him because her healing is either delayed with W's or it takes her own health with Q's, making it very risky for her to step up and do too much healing. So but as long as she can save her dragon for objectives, it's going to be very, very difficult to ever kill this Diablo or Leoric. And then their only options to kill anyone is going to be Kira, who has a lot of escapes, and Greymane, who is, again, someone who has a really powerful escape. So we're going to see how that plays out. Ooh.
I want to quickly shout out Cat Peach in chat with the 1,500 bits, trying to get some of these players to get on Probius. Unfortunately, not happening in this game right here, but maybe in our grand finals we'll see that Probius boy pop up. But thank you once again for the 1,500 bits, Cat Peach, as this is a continued engagement in bottom lane. We are going to be seeing some questing talents for some of these players. Aullora specifically is going to be into the Empower Sulfuris at level 1, and that is going to be at 19 out of the 30 stacks necessary. So they're already quite a ways through that one right there. We've got 48 out of these 80 stacks in Silver Touch for the Uther, and we have Whitemane actually on the Inquisitor's Prayer at level 1. That's an uncapped quest at 17 stacks currently, and then Diablo Souls, just so anyone who's wondering, is currently sitting at 33. And I just believe that we have a hype train coming on through the stream as well, so if you'd like to support these teams further, by all means, get yourself some awesome emotes. But Casper coming in with the 998 bits just to round out their number. Either way, we're going to continue with our fight, and we'll do our best to catch everyone who's donating and keeping the hype train going. But right now, Paradox, we got ourselves a first shrine, and it is going to be a Frozen Punisher.
It is. Frozen Punisher, for those that do not know, when this shrine will have 40 of the skeletal defenders killed, the team that kills the 40 on their side will have a Frozen Punisher. The Frozen Punisher has these giant AoEs that it will summon. You need to move out of the way, if not you get rooted. The giant AoEs, if they hit a structure, will turn off the structure temporarily, making it to where it will not attack with its as far as the little rocks that it shoots out from all of the different turrets.
Nasa with the 1,000 bits. Sorry to interrupt you, but Blonde just coming with 100 as well. Aircraft with the 100 bits as well. Nemavenger with 100. Ninja with 100. Everyone keeping the hype train going. Thank you so very much. We have a fight that might break out here as the Turk steps up onto a couple players, going to get that AoE onto the ground to try and steal a couple sappers away, as well, skeletal defenders away, as that's also going to be 500 bits from Emote Control coming in. The Dragon Queen from AlexDidz are going to be popped right there. They are going to be having the win Buffett to throw a couple members back. Pelishkilla with the 100 bits on top of this as they chase further in onto this engagement, but they are going to be backing out on the side of Upstanding Citizens. Down to Dongle, going to be having most of the control over this shrine, but the majority of the skeletal defenders will be on the side of Upstanding Citizens. Already halfway through this as the Turk needs to back off on this Deathwing, getting very low. But Ragnarok's going to pop the Molten Core for him and try and steal away these last few skeletal defenders.
And with the Molten Core combined with the fact that Kerrigan gets resets whenever she kills a minion, this should be a very easy Punisher to pick up for Upstanding Citizens. And that's even after a Dragon Form went out. So they played that so well. They waited for the Dragon Form to drop. They all walked away while the Dragon Form was going. And then they popped their safety abilities to grab this objective. And whoa, that is a 10 gifted subs by Nazajaza, I think?
Yep. Also, 500 bits coming in from Sit in Texas. The Punisher's going to leaping over the wall. Going to get the stun onto 2 players with the root. Trixler very low here, but the Turk is on the far side of this. Tries to get the Cataclysm out, but they end up going down. Thank you, Naza, for the 10 gifted subs once again, as we are going to be completing level 2 of the hype train, but this is going to be the Punisher still pushing on in through mid lane, and this is a lot of a back and forth. Vipey so very low, tries to get the bleed stack onto someone so they can steal some health. Oh, wait, that's a great revolving sweep onto Coffee, pushing them towards the friendly team. Diablo Souls will be finished out during this as well because of the kill. And now AlexDidz on the far side of this, a little bit, I don't think you're going to be able to get out of that one right there. And that will be one last auto as they get the Mastery Taunt just as they go down.
That was pretty funny. Now, as far as a first objective goes, this is pretty average. Taking about half of the fort on the first objective is rather average. Normally, you want to double soak to make sure that you get a little bit more from it. Losing 3 kills was pretty big. So Down and Dongle actually came out of that objective really, really well. And I think that Turk got a little too carried away when that objective turned off the structures. The Turk jumped in as Deathwing and started just hitting the back line, but he died very, very quickly, and they were able to defend against it and pull off 3 kills. So this is something that hopefully Upstanding Citizens learns from. They made a few mistakes. Hopefully they learn from it, adjust from it, and then change from there. And if they do, they're still in this. If not, if they continue taking fights like that, they're going to really struggle as this game goes on further, because having a Leoric against this team is only going to be more and more difficult, especially when it gets to level 13. We do have level 10s coming out for Down and Dongle, and they are doing a little bit of an invade right here, which they have the ability to do so. We do see Cursed Bullet, which is very good against Deathwing. We see Entomb, which is also very good against Deathwing, but it's also really great against Uther and Whitemane. And then we have Breath, which works well with Entomb. We do have Lifebinder, which Kaiberries did talk about this on stream after last week's game, that she chose not to go Lifebinder last time, and she wished that she would have gone it this time. So she's adjusting based off of what she's learned in previous games. And then we also have Final Strike, which is relatively common from Kira's in the competitive scene.
Yeah, Unrelenting Strikes typically isn't really picked up. I've seen it here and there. It's really, really cool, but it's not a combo that we see a lot of players go into. Also, Blonde Duchess, thank you for the 100 bits as we are continuing our hype train. But our next Punisher will be an Arcane Punisher in top lane. Should be getting the announcement for that fairly soon. But with that, they're going to say, you know what? We can peek a couple members in top due to the minimap vision. We're going to try and push this in through mid lane, also close that experience gap, And this is a little bit of an oddity for me. The Ultralisk for the Kerrigan, not something we see too often, but Aullora is going to be interrupted before they can get the Molten Core off. There's an Entomb coming out on the left-hand side. There was the Scarlet Aegis as well from the White Mane. Lifebinder goes on to Vipey, but Grey Mane ends up going down. There was the final strike coming out. This is such a split fight as the Ultralisk is chasing over onto the top portion of our screen. Trickster trying to get out of there as they end up going down. Vipey getting the revolving sweep. They find the Kerrigan kill, and that is going to be a 1-for-2 trade in favor for the members of Upstanding Citizens overall as they continue to push on in through mid lane, and the top lane Shrine, that Arcane Punisher, now up and available if they want to activate that. Deathwing considering to rotate up there as the friendly team pushes out this mid lane a little bit further, and yeah, that Deathwing on that point is going to be perfect because of how quickly and how effectively they clear in that AoE sense, and this is just going to be the friendly team distracting the enemies, but they overextended a little bit too long here, and now they're being punished fairly effectively. We should actually jump into the comms for down to Dongle.
To the comms ass. I'm going to objective. I'm going to objective. I'm not letting
Careful. Yeah, we're going to objective. You can clear mid and then push like one wave mid. We don't on objective.
You get 13, nice.
Yeah.
Wait, he just jumped.
Dragon has. Get him to ult out.
Clear. Yep.
Okay,
Almost 13, careful.
I have Entomb and 10.
Lobweb's going bot.
I got coffee in the wall.
Eon, I'm waiting for.
Nice job. Entomb. Big Entomb.
Oh, yeah, no, stopped.
Try and get out of this.
I'm out of it. No. Looking at Dragon. Dragon's really low.
Yeah, just hit Dragon. Okay. We're gonna have to wait for him to spawn probably.
Yeah. I'm on my way back.
Watch the combo.
Nice.
Dodge. Charging them off. Throw coffee.
I'm in trouble.
I don't have anything.
I'm good. I'm out. We can't Dragon.
I'm about to be back.
Kill Dragon. Nice, Selenityy. Good.
Nice. About to be back.
Looking at E in 2 seconds.
Careful.
I have a trip by attack.
I'm fine.
Okay. Watching you.
Watch out for copy. Watch out.
I'm not fine. Going naps away.
A lot of heals.
I'm on Aullora.
Killing
cool.
Sally.
I'm dead.
Coffee up top.
No worries. Coffee's low. He's like.
Back up.
They're about to jump on me, I think.
Can't do anything about
Charging
it.
back.
Nice.
Nice. Good stuff.
Very nice.
Push back up.
Going Uther.
You get on
My
this. You get on
ult's
this.
Get the
back up
objective.
now.
Yeah,
My
get
ult's
on
back up
objective.
now.
I'm gonna keep an eye on
Trying to
them.
stack them.
They're molten coring.
Okay.
Just baited. The line's right there.
As soon as they get out of this, I'll have Entomb.
Wait. I'm on immune.
Dragon coming.
Dragon,
Careful.
I'm trying
You're
to back up.
separated.
Yeah. I should be able to run out. They're trying to body block me. Good damage. Just hit
Get on the Deathwing.
I'm feared.
Feared.
I'm going to finish off
I'm
Deathwing.
getting dids off you.
For Casa. There.
I got a breath on
Nice.
this. Mune. He's slowed.
On the back.
I'm gonna come
Hold on,
off
enemy
now.
seed or whatever.
Oh, I missed him bad.
One mune.
That's enemy Punisher.
I'm almost on her.
Yep.
Got her.
The top of the leap is still available. Careful.
Try not to. Yeah. Okay. Trick pulled it. It's good.
It's good.
I have an Ultralisk
He
combo
has a
still.
combo. Careful.
We're trying to back up, guys. We're trying to back up and just clear this.
I am though.
An insanely long fight there, Paradox.
It was a very, very long fight, and it went back and forth numerous times. I think one of the things that people underestimate so much is how much healing and how much survivability Scarlet Aegis does from White Mane. 450 healing that you can enhance by increasing your spell power first, and 40 armor that makes you almost unkillable. I mean, whenever the breath went out, he just did Scarlet Aegis, and then auto attack healed more than the breath would even do, simply because the breath was mitigated by that 40 armor. And so during those fights, they need to learn, Down Dongle needs to learn not to fight into Scarlet Aegis and then adjust and fight afterwards. It's very tricky, but I just saw that during those fights, that it's such a powerful ult. I think when Blizzard nerfed it, I think they were on the right spot, but when they nerfed it to a 90-second cooldown, I think people were like, all right, I'm just gonna go the other ult. But it is really in competitive where people group together before things. I think it's such a powerful ult, very underrated.
I do want to quickly shout out, during our engagement that we had while we were in comms, we did have Naza Jaza with the 2,498 bits, 100 bits from Blonde Duchess, Perkilish, I'm sorry I'm murdering your name, with the 100 bits as well. So thank you all for continuing to support the Heroes Hearth Celebrity Clash League and these players and the community pool that's at 270% for the bits. That is absolutely insane. Seriously, thank you all so much. But right now, it's 16s up on both sides. Top lane Fort going to be going down. We actually, you know what, before the next objective phase, I think we need to check on Down to Dongle and see how their comms are during some of these engagements, because that was the back and forth between these teams over that last one was so good, and I kind of wish we could jump between them very, very quickly, but it's just not easy for us to do so. But right now,
I believe we were in Down to Dongle's last time, right?
We were. Sorry, Upstanding Citizens. My brain literally flipped everything.
Yeah, it did. No worries. Let's actually, as we're they're setting up for this next objective, and we'll see. I mean, if anything, let's wait until the next objective. I am curious. I just want to, because I really want to hear how they play this out.
Yes.
We were in that last one for a long time. I did get flipped a few times just because the fight did go back and forth.
I was like, wait, who's comes again?
Some interesting talents as far as stacks go. Inquisitor's Prayer, level 1 on White Mane, is at 98 stacks, which is a huge amount of health bonuses for her. We also have some of the 16s that have been picked up. We've got Tears Deliverance. Instead of the double stun from Uther, we're going to have increased damage and healing from all sources after throwing out a Holy Radiance, which is going to be interesting. Ooh, we do have an engage coming in here, though.
That's a lot of damage on AlexDidz. There's going to be an Entomb coming onto Coffee right there. They currently have the Molten Core popping off as well, and they're just dropping the damage as the Cataclysm comes through from Turk, and they're now stepping up further down the lane. Vipey getting very low. That's going to be a lot of damage still coming out from the Ragnaros. They do get behind their gate, and it looks like they're able to oh, wait, no, Coffee has the Primal Grasp, and they lunge forward and get 2 more kills. That is exactly what they need on the side of Upstanding Citizens here to bring the momentum back over to their favor. Dragon Queen going to be popped by Kai Berries as Vipey is getting very low. They're able to get away from the combo from Kerrigan, as this is going to be top lane being pushed in, but Shrine in mid lane is up and available. Will be Mortar, and they're going to back off with the 2 kills they got. So very well played by by the members of Upstanding Citizens.
That really was played so well by Upstanding Citizens. I mean, the Ragnaros Molten Core came out and just stunned their entire team. And from that, again, great ults from Mewn, great survivability from Uther. That I was just talking about Tears Deliverance, how it's kind of an odd pick, but that combined with the White Mane with so much survivability. We do have an Entomb that's forcing another fight here. Is that a fight that they want, though?
Oh.
I don't know.
Vipey gonna get the grapple out of there. They're just like, I am out of this fight. Trickster is still trying to make some things happen as the Bellowing Roar does come out. Coffee mounted up, sees Vipey. I was about to be like, you know what? Okay, either way, Kira's gonna try and make some plays happen. Unfortunately, get picked off. And now, while all that was happening, Aullora in mid lane.
Just getting the objective. Aullora just doing rag things, getting the objective, and that's going to be a Mortar Punisher. And at 15 minutes, that Mortar Punisher scales by essentially 18 damage per mortar shot per minute, which means that it is going to be a very scaled Mortar Punisher charging in with a Deathwing. That's going to be a keep. And if they stagger this death, this could also be the game right here. It's Casanova trying to open up space.
Also at 100 souls with the Fire Stomp build, they're getting health back here and surviving and delaying things out, and they realize this too. So they're gonna eventually kill Casanova, but currently they want to jump onto they're trying to end the game through mid lane. And Outstanding Citizens, are they gonna upset? Are they gonna be the first team to Deathwing win?
It may be the first Deathwing win, Turk, and it looks like it's going where it's got 20, 15%, 6%, 4% Molten Core comes out, and that is GG. And deciding who is going to go into the finals, Upstanding Citizens just did a 2-1, ending off this series. They're closing out this series, which gives them their place in the finals against the KTLs next week. And that was a wild game. That did give Deathwing his first victory in CCL, and a deserved victory. I mean, 63,000 hero damage.
Oh, yeah.
Doing a ton of damage, objectives, and those horrifying roars, I mean, were huge, absolutely major. So that is something that, I honestly, this is just crazy. Absolutely amazing.
Can we talk about Diablo topping stats with 69,000 heroic damage? Can we talk about that really quickly?
Those breaths were good. I mean, I think
Seriously?
the challenge is just that, like, he got these amazing breaths. He got these W's, which buffed up his damage. But the problem is that he would get these breaths, and then all of that damage would just be healed up by Mewnfare. I mean, he did 69,000 damage. Mewnfare did 67,000 healing. It pretty much just mitigated everything that the Diablo did during those fights. Not to mention, they also had that Uther that could also give armor and healing. So while Diablo was doing a lot, it just wasn't enough. And overall, I mean, this was a this is a fun series, Baha. Like, this was a lot of fun.
I had a blast with this. Fan of Kronos, thank you for the 69 bits. This match was it was such a good back and forth, and this is what we needed, and this is what we all wanted to close out our final round robin night of Heroes CCL. But I'm just going to ask right now, are we able to jump into a interview? Okay, so we are currently working on setting up our interview in just a second here. So that's the one thing I was just like, wait a minute. So anyway, everyone at home, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We have an interview coming up with the players in just a second. We're going to get their thoughts on this match as well as the upcoming week. And actually, we are ready to go. So let's go ahead and jump on over into Upstanding Citizens.
So, like, no one can die.
Okay.
Hey.
Congratulations on your 2-1 victory. How you feeling?
Woo! Yay.
I gotta turn down my headphones really quickly. My ears are bleeding. Thank you. Seriously, the games were an absolute blast, but I didn't want to cut you off. Go ahead. Continue with your
I was just saying, Turk didn't actually make our last interview. He had a really hot date, but he's here now.
No,
and
I thought it was a one-on-one stitch. In which case, I get anxious and like fuck it up. So as long as it's like a group.
Okay, I'm here. I'm here with you, Turk. You can talk now.
I apologize for bitching early last time. Hello.
Now, I want to ask quickly, the game's right here. Were you worried about, because people in chat were saying everything, Deathwing has a 0% win rate. Why would you pick it? Stuff like that. Were you worried about this game number 3 picking Deathwing, or were you just confident that you were going to be able to run it down in the sense that you did?
Me? Dude,
whomever wants to answer.
You were the Deathwing player, Turk.
Deathwing eats up, man. I don't know why they'd ever leave it up. I don't know about win rates. But yeah, I was 1v9 both of those games, BOE and that last game.
What the?
Team's just not that good. Moon's calls drag us down on the daily. So, I'm working against the current, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, but you would just pick Deathwing regardless, like even if we told you not to do it. So
right. Yes, yeah. I know.
We just live with it.
Paradox, do you have any questions for our upstanding citizens?
I mean, ultimately, the big question is, you guys had a 1-1 and you were going into game 3. What were your strategies going in? I mean, were you worried about anything you were doing? Or a specific thing that you said, if we just ban this or if we just pick this, we're good. Really, what was your strategy going into
disconnecting?
Yeah,
I was really worried about my computer turning off or losing power. It was a stressful situation. It was touch and go there, game 1. It's 2020. I live in Los Angeles. We pay a lot for internet, but nothing's a sure thing these days, and it's hard out here. So
I feel that.
Mainly with
about tilting Moon.
No, you don't have to worry about that. You always fucking tilt. The main issue that we had was we weren't battling the enemy team. No. We were struggling against the elements, wind, rain, fire. They were stopping our internet connections. We didn't have electricity for Coffee's mouse.
I think Trixler hacked my power, my home internet and power. Yeah, is what happened.
Oh, he's DDoSing. We've heard it here, guys. We have a felony that was just called out right here. No, I mean, how do you guys feel? I mean, you're going against KTLs next week. I asked them, what is the strategy going in? They said they didn't want to share anything. Do you guys want to share anything about going against KTLs, a strategy that you're looking at, or are you going to kind of keep it on the down low? What's your plan?
Listen, we can't even get a strategy ever. We don't even practice. What? Don't people understand?
Okay.
We just arrived.
Excuse me.
What, Turk?
Simply untrue. I have about
from you
4 off-stream Heroes of the Storm games, number 1, and I stream HOTS earlier. So I've done my individual practice. I'm saying if we all win our 1v1s, then there won't be any problems.
You were sleeping earlier. We almost. If we
I was
were the
after.
first set.
I was after.
As you guys can tell, there's a bit of turmoil in the team, but I can bring it together
have
with my
really
cosmic
good
brain
intentions.
and the strategies that are withheld within it. Okay,
Right.
I am the thinking machine for this team. I play the game. If you've listened to our comms, which I'm sure you jumped in at some point, I'm the thinking machine for the team. I'm directing every single characters. I had to tell Turk which way to face. I had to remind
I
Turk
had
that
to
yes, he
mute
did unpause
Moon
the game
like 3 times.
because he did. Turk walked in the enemy team after we unpaused the first time. I just would like to point that out. It's not like he DC'd. Coffee had an
In
excuse.
fact, I'm gonna mute him right now.
On that note,
Wait,
was the
Mewn,
question?
What?
Mewn
Yeah.
is the toxic brain for the team. I do want to
So-
say that he shot calls out of his mind.
Toxic brain. You misspelled toxic. Toxic brain.
My last question before I throw it back to Baha. Where is the Junkrat, Turk?
I don't know, man. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed inside the draft. I swear to God, they got their own
I
thing
picked
going.
Turk's Heroes.
They got their own clique. Okay, my word is never valued as the resident master player. 2K points. Y'all can see it. Don't be. My word
I know there's a team
is worth so little.
He's still
on
talking.
this team.
I know there's a time
They
limit
don't
for this interview at some
deserve me.
point, but
I swear to God, something
he'll just go on
went
and
wrong
on. Someone-
during the matchmaking. My 4-man sucks.
What?
What?
that wasn't even the question.
before we get into shoutouts, are there any? Well, you know what? I'm not going to ask the question because apparently there's no nerves for next week. You guys are all just pure, fire and gasoline running into next week. Apparently, right?
Might as well save your time. I mean, we know we're gonna win.
Oh,
I didn't say that.
Let me. You know what? Let me phrase this question differently. Is there a message that you have for the KTLs for next week? Let me phrase it that way.
I mean, there's no real point. They'll be
You
gone.
going
next week.
down?
Where are the KTLs?
Yeah, I think that's a team we play. I don't know.
Is that the Leon team?
Yeah,
Is that the guy that always picks URL?
Yes,
we
that's
let
him.
them win the
That's
first
him.
week.
Number 1 in Heroes of the Storm Grandmaster rankings. Leon and Leon, listen to me.
listen to him.
Stop being so sweaty. Do you understand?
Oh.
I can smell it from here. Quit it.
Well,
And Central this time. Mac, back me up on this. Central this time.
Don't worry.
We're gonna
Don't
play
worry.
on
I'm coming
Central.
for that booty.
We're gonna play on
I'm
Central
coming
this
for
time.
that.
Don't worry. I make the lobbies. I double check the run central, and I have a panic attack every time I load into game. So do not worry.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's all I
Now,
ask.
before we kind of close out this interview, because I'm sure you guys got energy that you need to burn at your after party for this event. We want to go through and at least give you an opportunity to do some shout outs. So going from top to bottom, we'll start with AlexDidz. Anyone you'd like to shout out?
yeah, Workhorse and Jules, thank you both so much for all the hard work you guys do. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks
Aullora?
again, Duke Cannon, and everybody who's been supporting. It's really awesome.
Coffee?
Yeah, I honestly I want to give a shout out to Down to Dongle because they are a great team. They're the defending champs. I've gone up against them. This is my 3rd time in a series, and holy shit, they're a tough team. But sometimes you're down to Dongle, and other times your dongers are up. And tonight, ours were straight up.
I'm not really.
Mewn?
How do I go after that? I don't really know what to say. I would just like to thank my chat for not completely distracting me from the game. Not that they could break my iron-willed focus on victory that I just knew I already had clenched. But, you know, honestly, it was a really close series, and I had fun. I hope we can do this again even after this league. Because, you know, I kind of look forward to Wednesdays now, and I have to say, which is weird because I usually don't like HOTS.
Well, to close it out, Turk, any closing shout outs
Oh,
or comments
no.
that you
Do we have 10 minutes?
Sure. No, sure. Shout out to Tricks chat for Losers POV. I mean, you guys had to sit through that, and I apologize. I'm sorry. You should come to the better stream, which is not Mewnfare. Turns out it's
What
mine.
the-
So thank
All
you.
right, twitch.tv/Turk.
Thank you, Duke Cannon, for the tourney, Blade, and thank you, my team, for not feeding excessively or whatever. I'm saying so I could carry. Appreciate that. See you guys next week.
Thank you for the interview. Enjoy your 2-1 victory, and we will see you next week in the Best of 5 Grand Finals on Wednesday, February 12th.
Boom.
That was an interview, Paradox.
That was,
one of the most
was a little wild.
interesting interviews I've ever done in the years of casting I've had. So I hope chat stuck around and enjoyed that as much as we did, because it was mostly just me gasping for air between laughing. So a very, very fun interview, but we had so many good games today, Paradox.
We really did. This was intense. This is what we were hoping for. We saw the KTLs, that dominant force that they are, and then we got to see one of the craziest 2-3s with almost each game going past 20 minutes. I mean, it's.
Oh yeah.
This was intense, and it was awesome. Next week we will be having the finals. This will be Upstanding Citizens going versus the KTLs, and it's going to be a pretty intense finals. It'll be best of 5s, so we'll likely be seeing a good amount of games, at least 3, but upward to 5. So very, very exciting. That being said, I do still want to share a little bit about everything that's going on in this tournament. I want to talk a little bit about this. I mean, we were at almost 100,000 bits today. Baha, like that's
Dear
crazy.
Lord.
That is absolutely crazy. We were almost at 100,000 bits. We are at 94,560. That is crazy. I just want to say thank you to everyone. What that does, that keeps this whole event running and running smooth. It gets more people enticed to come to this event, more celebrities. And at the same time, this also is just a great tool for making sure that we can, and again, run it smooth, keep it going. You guys are amazing. You're the real heroes here. Like, kind of, you know what I mean? It's just awesome. And then a very short thing about Duke Cannon. Guys, if you haven't checked them out, they're one of the things that's also keeping this event running well. You can get a big ass bar of soap, and they're just an awesome hygiene brand. Check them out. Head over to Duke Cannon's website and use our code to save 15%. That is HHE15. Save 15%. Get a big ass bar of soap. I recommend the freshly cut pine, but that's just me. But yeah, next week is going to be absolutely amazing. I'm so excited. Baha, let's close this out. What else? Where can they find you? What's going on with you?
Well, you can find me over at Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, just about everywhere at Bahamut Gaming. I'll actually be casting over on my channel tomorrow night, starting at 5 o'clock PST. And you can typically find me on my channel at 5 or 6 o'clock PST, casting Heroes of the Storm. I love talking about this game, as you might have picked up a little bit here and there tonight, but it's always a pleasure to be casting with you and to be able to kind of bounce ideas off of you and just be able to also learn and grow from each other. So thank you so much for being such an amazing host and caster. And yeah, find me at Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, everywhere, Bahamut Gaming. And thanks to all of you in chat. You're beautiful people. But Paradox, where can people find you?
Well, they can find me here. They can find me here next week on Wednesday. No, they honestly, guys, most people know me from my YouTube channel, and it's youtube.com/notparadox. If you want to follow me anywhere else, simply just Google Not Paradox on any of those things, because I made a different one for each thing, so it's easier to just find me there. But yeah, you'll be able to find a lot of educational content for Heroes of the Storm. I just made another Joanna video. Probably have made more Joanna videos than I've ever had to, but hey, I like the hero, so another Joanna video just came out recently.
It's like scoop
but
build, I saw, yeah.
Yeah, it's a scoop build, yeah. But yeah, overall, I just have a lot of fun with this, so I'm very excited to see you guys next week, and yeah, we can see a lot more soap.